You've probably heard that you can use the diminished scale to play more interesting lines on 2-5-1s. And if you haven't, it's a pretty simple concept. The diminished scale, when used appropriately, adds the flat 9, sharp 9, and sharp 11 sound to the 5 chord in a 2-5-1. The movement of the 5 chord to the 1 chord is a release of tension, and the use of these altered notes increases that tension. Or to put it more simply, it makes something like this sound more like this. It's a really important sound in the language of jazz, and if you're serious about learning to play jazz on the guitar, then it's something you need to become familiar with. There's a lot behind the theory of diminished scales and their use in jazz, and it's worth your time to learn that, but today I'm going to show you how to quickly incorporate this sound into your playing. Because of the symmetrical nature of this scale, we can use this one shape in 4 positions on the neck. In order to create the sound that we're looking for, we can use this shape on the flat 9, 3rd, 5th, and 7th of our 5 chord. That means if we're playing on a 2-5-1 in the key of C, when we get to the 5 chord, G7, we're going to play this shape on the 4th fret, 7th fret, the 10th fret, and the 13th fret. That's all well and good, but now we need some sort of guidelines for how to use this scale in order to play effective 2-5-1 lines. And by that I mean lines that move through the chord progression in a meaningful way. Start on a chord tone of the 2 chord and play 8 eighth notes. When you reach the 5 chord, transition to the diminished scale and play 8 eighth notes. Then, when you land on the 1 chord, make sure you land on a chord tone. If we aren't strict with these guidelines at first, then there's a good chance that we're just going to wander around the different key centers, and we want to be definitive and intentional when we play. The diminished scale is going to sound great on the 5 chord, but if you don't come from the 2 chord and arrive at the 1 chord in a meaningful way, then it's going to sound like you don't know what you're doing. And maybe you don't know what you're doing right now, and that's fine. You're going to keep making up examples like this until moving in and out of the diminished scale is second nature. Let's try another example. Here's another one, starting high and then descending. Once you're comfortable with all this, you can start changing the rules. What if we again played all eighth notes, but this time everything is played in thirds? There are a ton of ways to play the diminished scale on the guitar, and there are a ton of different places to use them in jazz. But this is a really great place to start. It's a relatively intuitive method, and it's going to acclimate your ears to the sound of the diminished scale on a dominant 7th chord. From here, you're going to want to use this sound in all 12 keys, and that means practicing 2-5-1s in all keys, which you should be doing anyway. And you're in luck, because if you support me on Patreon, you'll get play-along tracks for 2-5-1s in all 12 keys, as well as 5 licks using this diminished sound to get you started. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about playing jazz guitar, then you should subscribe to this channel. And let me know in the comments below what else you'd like to learn about in a video like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.